right, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, July 17th, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Jules, Dory, and Lady Pitbull here on UCY.tv. I'm trying to determine whether or not we're online this morning. I was just in the process of trying to log in because all I hear is the grand hum.
Oh.
Nice. How are you?
Good, and you?
Good. Are you hearing anything on air?
No one said anything that we're not there.
So no one even went to the page. All I heard when I turned the computer on was
You're on.
All right.
Totally on.
So I wonder, I don't know, some wacky stuff over the last 24 hours or so. Looks like maybe the flash crashed and it's still playing from some ungodly oh yeah, this is the one where we couldn't load the chat room last night.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, there is some weird stuff going on, huh?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
But hey, happy Thursday.
Yay.
Yeah. Big deal. We launched pigminenews.com last night, and it worked.
Yay.
I'm excited.
Woo!
Check that out. Everything's going to be posted from there from now on. And actually, I'm going to go hit that this morning because that is how I get my news.
Pigminenews.com?
Pigminenews.com, yes.
Cool.
It is live.
Yay. That's awesome.
And just know that there's lots of me in there somewhere. Well, I mean, we've been working for a long time on that, and I use that news every day, so it's kind of a big thing to me because it helps me do my news when there's a really nice format. And we had the old grid up on UCY, but this is even better because it's got the slider, it's got the feeders, and I get a lot of ideas for some really good playlists and things. So, just know when you go there, you're helping UCY. Let's put it that way.
That's awesome. Sliders and feeders, man. Yay!
Sliders and feeders, yeah. It's almost as good as I'll be twanging by 10.
That's great. That's awesome.
So, Zoe, how's your the geoengineering meeting yesterday or Tuesday?
It was great. Biggest turnout they've ever had. They estimated over 500 people there. Standing room all the way out the door.
Really?
Yeah. And one lady even flew in from Spain to speak. And she got up and spoke. And Dane, he had they gave him lots of time to give his facts. And then there was a doctor that got up and spoke.
Right on.
And after the presentations, let's see, the doctor, there was 3 pilots, the doctor, environmentalist. It just went on. And then after that, over 4 hours of just the people getting up and talking for 3 minutes. And so at the end of it, it was a win. They agreed 5-0 to start an investigation, to start testing the air for that. And what was really cool was Ross Bell, the one in charge of our air quality control board. He was in the room right behind me, and I was watching him, and he was most upset because he kept saying, we don't have any evidence of that. So it went really, really well.
So when someone brought up some valid point, he would say, "There's no evidence."
Well, no, he didn't talk yesterday.
Oh, he did not. That was before.
But right? At our last meeting,
that was before. Okay.
Yeah, that was back in August. He did, and he just kept saying he's the one that was in the what on earth are they spraying? He was the one that they did undercover, with hidden camera where he was, he didn't think there was a problem. So anyway, but yeah, the board, they asked pertinent questions, and it went extremely well. And this is going to get out, and now more and more communities, I'm hoping, will follow suit when they're citizens keep bringing this up. There's a reason that they keep bringing it up.
Neat. That's super, super, super cool. So the next steps
is to
it was like a landslide.
Yeah, we got to follow them and make sure that they do what they said they're going to do now. You know, they have said they're going to start an investigation and that they're going to look into having the air tested for aluminum, barium, and strontium. But now we got to stay on them and make sure they're going to do what they said.
Yeah.
So that's the next challenge, you know, and for them to report their findings.
So my question is, and I already know the answer to this, but for everybody else, is there footage of any of this?
Yeah, I have it online. I posted it that night when I got home, and Vince already posted it in the chat room.
Oh, right on. That's great.
And I have more. I just haven't got it up there yet.
There's oh my gosh. More. Good job. So it says, so the title
it's,
of it...
City Council chemtrails. Sorry.
Oh, very good. City Council chemtrails on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on my channel, so...
Kick butt. That's fantastic. Good job. That camera worked pretty good then, huh?
Yeah, it did. I was really surprised. I went to the Tea Party meeting the night before because Dane was there and gave a presentation and speaking points and stuff. And so I tested it out there and it worked great. It's really a great little video cam.
Cool. So is Dane's speech on there?
Yep. He's the first one up.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So definitely everybody go check that out.
Yeah, and Francis got up and spoke, and you know, I'll be putting more of it up later on today, maybe when I get home from work.
Neat. So like, are you up there too? I mean,
no, I just videoed. I was busy doing that, so I didn't get up and speak.
Oh, okay. Time. Hey, it's good to get all that documented. So that's very important.
Yeah, and it was nice because the doctor was up there too and stated, you know, that, you know, he's seeing such an increase of things and they're finding aluminum in everyone's hair.
Really?
Yeah.
And not in everyone's hair, like it's sprinkling in your hair. Right. We're talking about doing hair tests and it's been ingested and it's in your hair.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, and we had an attorney from Sacramento that I wasn't expecting, and he just really hit him hard because he said, I've been sending you guys emails and stuff and getting no responses from you asking about the spraying going on because we're getting it real heavy. And then another guy, it was I can't remember if it was a pilot or what, he brought a sample of the actual chemtrails hitting, you know, coming down, because some days you can see it actually coming down. He got some and brought it in and lifted it up on a prong thing and showed it, and it pretty amazing stuff.
Somebody in chat yesterday was in as an anon, so I'm not sure who it was, but they had said that they saw something that you've talked about yesterday for the first time ever, and that was the jet going across and sucking the stuff out of the sky, like at the edge of the cloud or something.
Yeah, the moisture. Yeah, Dane got into that too, explaining how come we have a drought right now and how they use these particulates and I can't remember the other word he used for it, but it actually absorbs our moisture out of our clouds and then moves it. Yeah.
Desiccant. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, he hit on that too. He said that this drought isn't a normal drought, that, you know, they've observed it doing that.
They spray something in that literally soaks up all the moisture.
Right. Yeah, like little suction, you know, if they were big enough to see. Little suction cups that just suck it up, and then they can move it along with our, So.
One thing I wanted to mention about Dane, for anyone that hasn't heard it or seen it, for the time being, and I mean, it might stay there. I don't know. We have a bunch more shows coming. People are emailing me on a daily basis. I'm trying to keep up with everybody. But for the time being, I have put a weekly replay of the week's Geoengineering Watch that airs on Saturday, because I know a lot of people aren't around sometimes on the weekends, too, by the way, and then they might forget to get back to an archive. So after Josh's show, before Jimmy's show, at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, I am rerunning the week's Geoengineering Watch that was live from Saturday.
That's a great idea, Jules.
It's a
Seriously.
great spot. No, I'm telling you, I missed some last week, so that was great. Like last night, I sat and I caught the whole thing. And Dane does a great show, and he always has amazing information. So I think it's, I actually would like to keep running it twice a week.
That's a good idea. I think that's wise. And
our weekday crowd is always different than the weekend crowd, so maybe some people never heard it.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Right on.
Yeah, there was quite a few, I've gone blank, I'm just, newspaper, different news, filming it too. There was like video cameras all over one wall of people, of news people doing it and stuff, so I haven't been able to follow it up. Ever since the meeting, my roommate and I haven't been feeling too good, so I have doing too much.
I would expect that too.
yeah.
I really, because we never get ill at the same time, and ever since the meeting, ever since we got home,
I would expect that. Honestly,
that's a lot of people to be around.
Well, and I'm really careful because you don't know what they're doing. I mean, a lot of our groups have been getting like illnesses and things. Remember, I was talking about the flu in the summertime. And on the weather.com website showing high activity like in mid-July for flu.
Yeah.
That to me is odd. I don't remember flu being widespread in July.
Yeah. Bad deal, man.
Bad deal is right.
Yeah,
I get it tough, so you guys talk.
You should see, Zori, if Dane is sick or anyone else.
Yeah, I might give him a call later.
Yeah, because that'd be worth a call. Just and he should know that you two got sick at least. You know what I mean? So you said, wow, man. So you said somebody brought in a sample, huh?
It's a white glob, and he explained it too. He goes, you can tell and you can even without a microscope. I have a microscope, and I've looked at spider webs under it, and I've looked at the droppings from the geoengineering spraying, and there's a definite difference. And he brought a big glob.
Now,
and he sent all part of it.
You took a look.
Pardon?
How close did you get when you took a look? Without a microscope?
I zoomed in. Oh, how close did I look? Not under a microscope. It looked completely different.
No. When you brought that big glob in, did he hand it to you and you took it?
No, nobody touched it. He had it up there in this container, and then he pulled it up and showed it and put it right back in, and he said he sent a portion of it off and to a lab. So I didn't catch if he got the results yet or not, but no one touched it. No,
yeah,
you always wear gloves.
I was thinking, if he brought that to the event and now you don't feel good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. God knows what else is in there.
CDC transporting anthrax and Ziploc baggies.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, whenever I handle it, I always handle it with gloves too, and
Ooh, that is some scary, because who knows what the hell else is in that stuff, too.
You don't.
Well, they've found nanoparticulates in it, and that's been the latest that I've heard.
Oh, that's going to be enough. I mean, you really don't need anything else with that.
That's being sprayed over us, and we don't know how they've been programmed.
They're going to find nanites in the hair next.
You could have freaking DNA with ATCG X and Y in it, for all you know.
Yeah, it's getting real scary. And the board was really, they were drop-jawed when they got the facts this time. And so, yeah, it was unanimous. So,
there's nothing like people standing up and for a cause and getting results. This is the perfect example why everybody needs to act locally first.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully other communities will do this, you know. Yeah, it's just, it can't even be called a conspiracy anymore. Conspiracies when you have no facts.
Right.
Well, I posted Dane's newest article yesterday on alternative journalism, and some dimwit, like not 5 seconds after I posted the story, no less, so he obviously didn't read any of it, post this meme down in the bottom that says, with some guy with a goofy face that says, "Oh, here we go again."
There's always those guys, you know.
Me, I mean, really, are you that dense that you're going to roll your eyes at any of this? You know, maybe you shouldn't be on this page.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Good start.
Well, you know, they have paid shills that watch for these things and post immediately when something comes up, too.
Oh, you're right. You know, Dane did talk about that this week, that he's getting spammed. They have some fake pages in his name, and he has trolls that are bothering him.
Oh,
and
God.
you know what, though? That means that he's over the target. Keep
That's
going.
right. That's right. Absolutely, Jules. It's cool, man. And now he's putting on the pressure, turning the heat up locally, and that's going to have reverberation effect, man. That's cool. It's great you guys did this.
With all the people that talk, 4 hours of people getting up, you know, just in the community getting up, not one person spoke in negative about it. I mean, like, oh, it's not real. And they could have if they wanted to, but no, it was all, you know, positive and right on course. So it was great.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Now let's just hope other communities pick up on it and realize that, you know, if they come together, they can get results too.
Yep, bingo. That's exactly it. So, just, you know, like you said, don't let it rest. Keep your eye on it. Make sure they're following through with their vote.
Yep, and that we are going to do, believe me.
Now, did I hear Dane have somebody, was that a senator he had on Saturday? I didn't catch who that was on.
I wasn't home Saturday, so I didn't even get to catch his show.
Yeah, me neither.
Shame. It was good.
He's been talking to a lot of Congress and stuff, different senators and representatives. I know that. And what was interesting is he started the show out. There was this one guy that was agreed to come out and speak, and he agreed right up until a few days before, and he got a call from his higher up, and then all of a sudden he had to back down. So, and Dane brought that up.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We're making him back down, guys. I mean, this crap has to stop. It's God knows what it's doing to us. Jeez, man.
Mm-hmm.
I worry more about crops and whatever. I just saw the California drought. I think the dollar value yesterday, they were saying that the California drought that's going on right now is costing farmers upwards of $2 billion.
Organic farmers were there too and spoke up saying, you know, what is going on, because they do all this, they go to all this expense to keep their gardens, you know, organic and all. And like this one lady, she said she got one cucumber out of a whole field of growing, and it's affecting the soil bad. And Francis was there also and got up and spoke about how it's affecting, you know, the insects and everything. And a beekeeper got up there and spoke.
Awesome.
So,
what'd he say?
He said that he's noticed like over half his bees have died. Over half her bees have died, you know, for like no reason at all, and that it's affecting the bees. And the insects, you know, we need those insects too, you know, to break down the soil and stuff. And it's just, Francis talked about, you know, how the pH is down and you can't grow in soil that doesn't have a proper pH. So they hit almost every aspect of it.
Fantastic. Good work, guys.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was that lady that came in from Spain, too. She flew here just to speak. So,
wow.
You know, I mean, and there were people from all around, not just Redding, but, you know, all the way down like to Sacramento, and that Sacramento attorney was very impressive.
Here's the sad thing, Zori. I didn't know anything about it until Tuesday morning when or actually Monday morning when I was listening in as I was getting the last show that I'd been waiting for up into automation so I could leave the house, like run out. So we should have promoted that or done something. You know what I mean? Like, had someone let me know about it, I would have blasted it all over social media for a couple days.
Yeah, it would. I brought it up earlier in the week and all, but yeah, I should have. I didn't even think of that. But
I didn't even hear
Facebook. I know.
I didn't see it, and I subscribed to all the pages. That's why I was surprised that the event was even going on.
Huh? Because I had it up on mine, and it was promoted a lot on there. I don't know. Well, we'll learn as we go. You know, we plan on doing more, and this isn't the last one that we're going to do.
And not only that, wasn't there people hanging out the door anyway? There was barely any room.
Oh, they were all the way out to the steps.
That's cool. That's what you want. That's what you're looking for. It's great.
Yep, the biggest there was more attendance there than any meeting they have ever had in Reading.
Nice.
Awesome.
So they couldn't ignore it anymore, you know. And true, this time, like the last time that it came in front of the board, even Dane, everyone got 3 minutes. That was it. This is the first time they actually had real speakers up, scheduled for a half hour or so each to do a presentation. So it worked real well. And it was great seeing their mouths just drop. And they asked pertinent questions of some of the speakers. And yeah, so I don't know. I was very impressed.
I'd like to get my hands on some of what Francis presented, because I know Francis has all of his real-time numbers.
Yeah, I'll be posting that part of the video later today, I hope.
All right, I just got the picture for the show. It is a tabletop close-up surrounded with coffee beans laying on it, and then there are words in the center, and it says, "If asked, how do I take my coffee? I reply seriously, very seriously." All right, I'm going to share this around. So, what is top news? Did you see the shooting or the...
Oh my god, there's so much crap.
I know, there's a lot going on.
You wait one day and it's like, there's more!
All I had to say was, did you see the shooting, ...
Right. Exactly. Oh my god. No, I didn't see the dang shooting. What, I mean, there's shootings every day now.
Yeah, no, there was one in California. I'm still sharing, so I don't have anything in front of me yet. I was just killing time, but there was one in California, which I'm assuming, Zori, you were probably not paying attention while you were at that thing.
No, I wasn't.
So never mind.
But was it a school shooting or?
No.
Well,
Someone was shot in the middle of the road, and I don't know. I don't even know. I figured you would know because it was your state.
Area? Yeah, no, I haven't been. I've been down the last couple of days. But I did see where Detroit police chief attributes armed citizens with dropping crime.
Right on.
Yeah, that's a good one. It says,
He's been behind it, though, all along.
Right,
Yeah.
he's the one that suggested it, and now he's getting, evidence that it's working.
Results.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had that video that went viral, which was remember the mom who was the victim of the home invasion?
Yeah.
Her husband just giving her the assault rifle like the week before?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It's great. Those guys took off running out the back.
Yep.
Yeah, and
One warning shot.
Yeah.
crimes dropped 37% in Detroit just since he did that. So, he's attributing it, he says, yeah, law enforcement, they're doing their jobs too, but he attributes the big drop to citizens being armed and criminals not being sure who's armed or who isn't.
Hey, mama, don't mess around.
That's right. I seen this one video and it just cracked me up. These guys came in to rob this place. it was a bus terminal or something, but they came in with guns and were forcing people to get down, and this grandpa got up with his gun, pulled it out, started shooting at all of them, and chased them right out the door. And he got 2 of them. He said, Grandpa's got his gun. It was great. It was a YouTube video that I'd seen. But yeah, you know, they don't expect anyone to stand up to them. In fact, citizens, I think, are doing a better job of it than the police are. Police just going around shooting innocent people because they're so scared. But that grandpa wasn't scared. I'll tell you, he just chased them all the way to the door, still shooting.
There we
That's
go.
kind of scary, though, too. You know,
it is, but, you know, everyone else went out of the way when he
shooting willy-nilly into a crowd. You really can't do that.
He had full range. I mean, no one was around the guys that had the guns. Everyone's moved way back, and he just came straight at him shooting. He didn't shoot wildly, like into a crowd or anything. So, but yeah, they went off running. He got 2 of them. But, you know, that's why criminals are so blatant about everything, because they know nobody's armed. They're taking everybody's guns away. And it's good to see people reporting stuff like this, you know, to show, you know, the guns are there to defend also.
That's right.
Hey, Wendy, can you pull in my personal account?
Absolutely.
So if we want to play a clip, we'll be set up. Oops.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just about everyone should have a gun in their possession, and go through, learn how to use it. That's important. You don't just go buy a gun and, you know, think that you're going to be able to handle it in a situation. Everyone needs to learn how to handle the gun, and all about safety, never putting your finger on the trigger until you're ready to actually pull it, you know. But,
that's right.
And they tell you never to shoot unless you intend to kill and can live with the consequences.
Yes.
So don't go waving it around, Grandpa, and shooting blindly into a crowd.
Right. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, everyone has a right to defend themselves and their loved ones and other people, innocent people that are in danger of a criminal. You know, I mean, I just don't understand anyone who doesn't understand that. You know, that say, oh, don't have a gun. You know, I always just, it just doesn't make any sense to me that anyone could be that brainwashed. But I guess there are a lot.
Yeah,
They're
well,
still trying to take people's guns.
Yep, that's the brainwashing is ever present, so never underestimate it. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
People are always stupid. But I mean, at least in Detroit, the dude's actually creating evidence that supports his plea to the community. So, I mean, that you can't beat that with a stick. I mean, just like what you guys did with the geoengineering, you know, he's kind of single-handedly kind of done just by taking a stand, you know.
Right, and, you know, other law enforcement was, you know, got down on him for it, but now he's got the evidence that, you know, and people are feeling safer in Detroit now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here, can I play that Detroit clip from a few months ago?
Hell yeah.
Where the mom, where they broke in?
Yeah,
yeah, that's great.
I love this video. Yeah, all right, hold on. Maybe. Hold on.
You're a doctor.
There's an N. All right, here we go.
Tonight, Detroit's chief of police is applauding what this mother did and also the outstanding work of his own officers. This surveillance video of 3 teenage thugs shows what can happen when burglars pick the wrong victim to mess with. As we first showed you last night on Action News at 11, the teens tear down the back door, only to discover mom is on the other side, locked and loaded.
I let them know I had a gun once they was in the house, and they challenged me and said I don't have a gun. So that's when I shot off the first round.
Now this video has gone viral. Her husband, thankful he gave his wife this assault rifle just 2 weeks ago after a different break-in attempt.
If I haven't prepared my wife for this kind of situation, I could have came home to a family that was gone.
So what do police think about this mom defending her home and her two small kids in this way? The chief of police says she did the right thing.
She certainly protected herself, her young children that were upstairs in the residence. She did nothing at all wrong. Even after the victim advised the suspects that she was armed, there was a aggressive attempt to continue to enter into her residence.
What happened Monday night on Woodrow Wilson included one of 3 teens dropping what we now know to be a fake gun. Nonetheless, it was no joke to mom or the cops that quickly arrested these guys.
The relentless follow-up, a sense of urgency by our officers to sign a number 10 certainly is, which is consistent today in what we see in the Detroit Police Department. Phenomenal police work.
2 of the teens are in custody facing charges and have a history of trouble with the law. 1 even has a prior gun-related arrest. The 3rd is out on bond. Don't forget, this is also a very big victory for the neighborhood, considering these teens have been causing problems there for quite a while. From downtown Detroit, Simon Shaquette, 7 Action News.
So there you go.
That's
right
great.
from the chief's own mouth, by the way.
I love that, man. That's great. You just see her, mom's loaded behind the door.
Yeah, people who think that, the police are going to protect them, the average response time is at least minimum 6 minutes.
Not in Detroit.
And by then you could be killed,
Yeah.
They always arrive after the fact.
6 hours.
Yeah, sometimes. The best way to get the police to respond is to go shots fired. Then they come real quick. Other than that, it might be an hour or two. Like my friend, she called them, told them that someone was breaking into her home, and I got there before the police did.
Wow.
It's amazing, and some of the calls, they just never even respond.
So did you catch the dude who was there?
No, he got gone, but the cops didn't show up for a half hour more.
Would you have blasted his ass?
Of course I would have.
Here's the thing. Do you have stand your ground? I mean, I don't know what the laws are.
Stand your ground.
But it's not your house either.
Right.
And
but, when it comes down to someone you care about.
If he wasn't threatening anyone, I don't think it is legal to kill somebody for trying to take a belonging, is it?
Oh, no, I wouldn't have done. Well, if they break into your home, then you're threatened. That's, stand your ground. I wouldn't have gone there and gone in shooting. I mean, he didn't make it into the house, but he was trying to, and it was an attempted. And they still didn't show up for almost an hour. I mean, like I said, I got there first. And when I got there, I didn't see any evidence of him there still, but he must have ran off. But he was trying to break into her home, and she was there alone.
Yeah, well, that's when I start flinging expletives in very loud voices and slamming shit around.
That's what she did. She started making noise, and she said that she said she was armed, and she was yelling it, but and that probably scared him away. But the police didn't know that.
It usually includes some words with M's and F's in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's just it. What if they would have made it into the home? The cops didn't show up for an hour.
Right.
Well, then you would have been ambushing them from behind a door with broken beer bottles.
Yup.
Or hiding under a table in the dark, man. You better look out.
If you act crazier than them, they will back off. If you act like you're a crazy freaking
and I'm good at it, too.
Me too.
People get
mad, they'll just shoot you right off.
Me too, I'm good at it.
But am I really pretending?
Exactly. If they don't know, oh my god, this bitch is fucking crazy. You know what I mean? They're walking the other way. I mess with this one.
I talked about that too. Like when I went cross country, you dress and act like you don't want to get messed with.
Exactly.
If you act like you want to get messed with, then you're going to invite trouble.
But if you're not paying attention, I've always said, always know your surroundings, no matter where. If you're alone, if you're going, in to get in your car, never take it for granted. There's not going to be someone lurking out there.
Well, and if you're getting into your car, or, renting a hotel room for the night, and you're walking down the sidewalk to go get your hotel room, and you happen to notice that in the back room behind the counter of the front desk, there's a chick with track marks. I would say run. Do not pass go or collect $300.
Right. Or when you're going home, I never just walk up to my door and put my key in. I always walk up looking around, always, to see if there's anything out of place.
Situational awareness.
Always, yes. I've taught my daughter that. One time she was being followed by some guy, and she made a few turns, and he made those few turns. She went straight to the police department, drove right up, and jumped out of the car and ran inside. I told her, always be aware. Don't ever just take things for granted, Well,
and don't ever, if you think you're being followed too, that's a really great point. Don't ever go then home.
Don't go home, right.
Go somewhere else, somewhere public. Don't go home. You don't want them to, there are freaks out there that might see you out and go, oh, look at that, and decide they're going to follow you home. Especially
and another thing, yourself. When you go to a ballet thing, always have your car keys on a separate thing that you can unhook it and give it to them, because if a lot of times that's how they case places. They can make a copy of your key and they have your address. Always keep your car key separate so you can detach it and give only that key to the valet when you're doing public parking.
Well, I used to work at, when I was younger, I used to work in Ann Arbor driving night shift for Yellow Cab, and I was wearing combat boots and a leather jacket and putting on a tough-ass bitch facade, I don't know, nothing ever happened because, something almost happened.
That's a scary job because they're behind you.
Yes, and I went and picked up. It was during a snowstorm. I'll tell the story because it's really cool. Actually, it was one of those old rear-wheel drive Chevy. I think it was an Impala. I think it was like an old one, and it was snowing really bad, and I had to there was the homeless shelter had a night work program, so some of their shelter people would go to this work program, and at midnight, they stopped work, and I had to go out to the next city to pick them up and then come back. And they were like saying that it was like, massive snow, it was like the road was completely covered, it was icy, and these guys are going, okay, so what if, what if we want to get your money right now? What if we, you know what I mean? And they were threatening me from the back seat. And I'm just going, really? Really? You guys think, like, you're going to get my money? He's like, well, what you going to do about it? There's 3 of us and 1 of you. And I was like, well, how about if I just run this cab in that snowbank over there? You know what I mean?
Brick wall.
Yeah. and they just kept it up. And they kept it up, and it was like they were kind of like amping themselves up to do it, amping each other up. So I just tapped my brakes, spun the wheel a little bit, and I started spinning the cab on purpose. I did. I spun the cab twice in the middle of the road. There was nobody else in the road. It was freaking midnight. And so I did it on purpose, and then I went back straight, and they were screaming in the back. They're, ah! You know what I mean? and I kept going back down the road in the direction I was going, and they were saying, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. By the time the end of that cab ride was over, I screwed those guys. I scared the piss out of them. So
that was quick thinking. That was good.
Well, yeah, it was just like, all right, you want to play? Let's play, and bam. You know
what's sad is that cabs don't have like push button door open buttons.
Oh, yeah, eject buttons.
Yeah, you could have opened the doors and then gone into instant spin.
I don't know. I work out scenarios in my head, too, a lot of times. Like if someone was to break in my home or I run scenarios through my head. What would I do? What would I do? And that's a good thing to do.
Everything. You should be doing that for everything.
Yeah.
I've done that for so many different things, especially for SHTF.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to put your mind in the mind of the bad people to be able to do that. But you have to mentally prepare, because if you are not mentally prepared, the day if it ever happens, you're going to freak out.
Yeah, it's called being street smart about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you got to be able to pull up them street instincts to be able to survive out there no matter what comes at you.
Actually, I want to talking about using cars as a weapon. To read something to you guys that I just could not believe. Please tell me that this is a joke, but no, it isn't. FBI warns driverless cars, the Google cars, could become the new lethal weapon for terrorists.
That is true. Yeah.
Fucking bug thingies with no steering wheel that, Nana's going to be taking a ride to the movie theater in is now going to become a terrorist weapon.
Oh, boy.
Well, they've even been released, mind you.
Yeah, they're using them in some cities to test them out.
Yeah, but I mean, they haven't. Yeah. This isn't like this is a nationwide threat. Google cars. Now, I would say, true, the Google cars might be the threat. The Google cars taking pictures of each of our houses into our garages.
Yeah.
You can zoom right in on people's houses and look at exactly what's in their driveway, and if their front door's open. Some houses you can even see right in the front door.
Yep, I would say that's more of a threat.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to read this. Self-driving cars are being assessed as quote-unquote game-changing vehicles and potential quote-unquote lethal weapons according to an internal FBI report, and could be exploited by criminals or terrorists seeking to program explosive stuffed cars to be self-driving bombs. What do you think of that? Now, what's interesting about this, I don't know if we read the story or not. We might have, but I don't know if I came across this info on one of the days that we were live or not. Something that's really odd, and I haven't figured out what's going on yet, but Google has purchased 8 robotics firms in the last year, correct?
Yeah.
And which should be frightening in and of itself. But I was reading a story out of one of the technical publications last week that said that Google has cut the Department of Defense completely out of the picture. So there is no cooperation going on. So they say.
What does that mean? I mean, does that mean like Google has now usurped the?
Well, and remember, we have people from working there,
right?
As well as Kurzweil, and some of the greatest minds in brain technology have been recruited as well. And artificial intelligence. So, I mean, do they really need the DoD? Probably no.
No, they're beyond the DoD now. They make their own decisions.
It's kind of frightening. Or maybe they think that they're going to get this army all together and then they're going to lease them. I mean, maybe they will be the robotics unit that the DoD gets all their soldiers from.
Sure.
I don't know, but it just was unusual. It seemed unusual to me that they cut the DoD out. Now, remember, usually the reason why people drop their pants to the DoD is because they want their money, right? They want the funding for the research, but Google doesn't need it. Nope. And I think it's a big F you, saying you don't need to know what we're doing here. So
it's interesting.
It is interesting. So here now we got the Google self-driving car, which is another robotic AI innovation, and now you get the FBI investigating, saying, "Well, these could be like terrorist criminal bomb units." Going after the Google self-driving car came out, showing how easily cars are hacked now. Right? They can do it with the
the Mercedes
point beams at the car.
Yeah.
That's when Hastings crashed into the tree and blew.
That's right.
And then take over the car. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't think that this is too far off the mark. It's just, if you were getting ready to launch like this whole army of self-driving cars, wouldn't you make sure that there was some security or something?
You'd think. You would think. I think they tested self-flying planes on 9/11.
Yeah.
They
have. I mean, we talked, I think it was yesterday, we were talking about, or maybe that was just me in chat, I don't know. I've been so ill and taking these antibiotics, and as I'm coming out of this now, I'm realizing like how much of a haze I was living in.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's pretty scary because you feel like you're normal when you're in it, but when you start coming out of it, you're like, wow, everything's kind of fuzzy.
I was really messed up.
Yeah,
Jeez.
but I think it was in chat. We were talking about how nothing ever was secure, really, and now that with this, what's his name, Keith Alexander and Chertoff, right? Inserting themselves into Wall Street, going, hey, you need to hire us. I want $1 million a month to help shore up your unsecure system so hackers don't come in here and make all your balances go to zero. Wink, wink.
$1 million a month.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But you're scoffing at my price tag. Well, hey, then guess what? Those terrorist hacker Chinese, government-sponsored hackers, whatever you want to call them, are going to come in and take all your money.
Yeah, just like they did during Target, that little Target scandal.
Yeah, that Target scandal was big.
They took it right out of everybody's credit card accounts. Yes, they did.
Yeah, I'm going to read a little bit more on this. The report, so this is about the self-driving cars becoming terrorist self-driving bombs. The report was obtained, so that's really going to encourage Nana to go get one, huh?
Yeah.
The report was obtained by The Guardian after the newspaper made a public records request. FBI predictions included the statement that self-driving cars would ultimately, quote, have a high impact, no pun intended, transforming what law enforcement and its adversaries can operationally do with a car, unquote. Criminal multitasking is being anticipated despite potential beneficial impacts on road safeties, and there have been sporadic suggestions that the vehicles could operate as rolling bombing platforms for terrorists, meaning a means by which to conduct suicide bombings without the suicide aspect. Oh, how nice. Speaking of suicide bombings, I just saw yesterday or the day before the largest suicide bombing in Afghanistan. Oh, since, did they say 1998? It was quite a number of years. 90-some people killed all in one swoop. And yeah, you normally don't see that. You see maybe 5, 10, 15, but almost 100 people now in one suicide bombing.
Jeez.
And the sad fact of the matter is, when they get a hit like that, that encourages even more.
And guess what? They're doing all this without self-driving cars.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So this is just
right, the old school way of having a chest.
Old school, yeah.
Or in your underpants or your shoes.
Yeah.
Companies like Google are in the process of developing the self-driving cars, which are without a steering wheel. And Nana will like this: they travel at just 25 miles an hour.
That would drive me crazy. I ain't kidding.
25 miles an hour? God, they'd be tying up traffic.
Oh, my God.
Well, they're going to have a self-driving car lane.
Oh, God.
I personally think that where these would be well-positioned, not that I would ever get in one because I would be afraid that the doors would lock and they would take me somewhere against my will.
Yeah.
Doors and windows locked with unbreakable glass, soundproofed. The shutters go down.
Yeah.
I would never.
I had a book that did just that, and it took this guy to these gangster guys, but it was a car that locked him in, no driver, and just took him there. So yeah, it's been thought of.
Yeah, those bait cars.
Hell no, you're not getting me into one of these suckers. As the shades go down, the handcuffs go on, and they start injecting you with nanoparticulates.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
At the end of your trip, you're in their control. Ah!
Shot to the Amblingata. No thanks. But hey, you know what? You do what you want with Google Car. That's my personal opinion. I could see these being a great alternative for a taxi, especially in places like, New York City, obviously.
Cars.
taxis everywhere, LA, taxis everywhere. But you're in a place like Buffalo or whatever, you got to call for one. You got to wait for 20 minutes. You know, it's a good distance to get there. Most taxis are out of the airport, and that's where they stay until they're called. You know what I mean? At least during business hours.
It's a good idea, a good option for drunks.
Well, for drunks, for senior citizens who can't get around, you know, I think it's awesome. And especially, I don't know if these were... if they were planning on charging, if they were going to sell these. I don't know what their plan was for how they were thinking about rolling this out. I wouldn't imagine that they'd give them away for free, but Google's done weirder things.
Yeah, who knows?
Like have a free service, let's say, sponsored by Google. Tank driving.
Yeah.
And 8 samples every time you get in.
Right, absolutely. We're just going to check your blood levels.
Yeah.
To make sure you're not dying right now from an alcohol overdose.
Facial recognition cameras in the back, so to make sure, you know, they're getting everyone with 320-point facial recognition in the HD database.
We're here to help.
And remember, free is never free.
Oh, my God.
Ever free. So
No.
beware. Caveat emptor. Okay, the vehicles use a combination of LiDAR, which is laser ranging, radar, video cameras, and GPS to overcome obstacles on the road and reach a destination safely. Now, sitting in a vehicle with LiDAR, radar, and GPS all above your head might not be too healthy long-term either. Those are my words. While still a prototype, the possibility that cars could revolutionize high-speed car chases and other criminal activity is on the cards. Now, think about that one. Revolutionize high-speed car chases. People are like, what? Where'd that come from? That came from my biggest fear, taking away one of my most fun things to do when I like to get away and relax, and that is get into a car and drive long distances by myself with the roof open, the windows open, and the music extremely loud. That will not happen. You mean a 25-mile-an-hour self-driving putt-putt.
No, that wouldn't happen. I'm with you. I love to get out and drive whenever I need to get away or think by myself. I love getting in the car and going up to the mountains and just driving.
Yeah. It's great thinking time. It's good stress relief, especially if you get away from other cars. I mean, there have been quite a number of times this one route that I take, I'm the only person I can see for as far as the eye can see, rolling hills and just me, you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, I'm going to finish this article. Autonomy will make mobility more efficient, but it will also open up greater possibilities for dual-use application and ways for a car to be more of a potential lethal weapon than it is today. One possibility that was expressed was the chance that people could shoot from the windows of a self-driving car without having to worry about keeping an eye on the road. Well, yeah, I guess they could at 25 miles an hour.
Jeez.
Though it makes you wonder if the car speed could be hacked.
Oh, yeah, suddenly, oh, really? like Hastings.
Well, if they can take over cars now, you know,
right.
Then they could take over those. They're completely computerized.
Like Michael Hastings.
Right, exactly. In a section of the report, subheaded multitasking, it states that, quote, bad actors.
What?
So, remember I told you guys, actors, when you see them referred to in FBI reports or things of that nature, people have pointed to the word actors being used and said, look, see, it wasn't false flag, they used actors.
Crisis actors.
They do have crisis actors.
Well, they do have crisis actors, but I'm saying that the technical term actors is used in law enforcement to represent perpetrators many times, okay? And it doesn't mean that they were physical actors.
I see.
That's a term that they use. But it's just kind of funny that in here they call them bad actors. Which, no, some of the crisis actors could be bad actors. But we're talking bad actors, so bad people who are perpetrating crimes is the definition of that.
Right.
Bad actors will be able to conduct tests that require the use of both hands or taking one's eyes off the road, which would be impossible today. Well, at least from the driver's seat, I guess. And you could still have someone driving a car and be in the back seat, couldn't you?
Backseat driver.
With the window open, perpetrating bad actor crimes.
Right.
Right, that's how they usually do drive-bys, is with someone else driving and you're shooting.
Right, so I guess their fear is that you could be in the self-driving car and perpetrating the shooting at the same time out of the driver's seat.
And at 25 miles an hour, man, you could do a lot of damage.
In slow-mo.
Yeah.
The FBI report runs contrary to the message that self-driving vehicle developers are trying to put out, that the cars are safer than those operated by people. Now, the reason why I brought up that rift between the DoD and Google over the robot companies is because of this. Isn't that odd that the FBI would be putting out a message that would be contrary to them rolling out this new car that they want everyone to buy? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it almost sounds like there's some sort of war going on in the background where the FBI is telling Google to go screw.
Infighting.
Oh, yeah. You want to mess with us? We're going to take out that self-driving car you thought you were going to get your hands on everybody in.
There's definitely infighting happening. I mean, we can see this. We see this with that BRICS thing. I mean, they're definitely infighting.
Which is good. Let them. My mother always said, if you give them enough rope.
That's right. That's awesome.
Give them enough rope. That's why, you know what, guys, we've all seen things over the last few years, in the alternative media crew, and I get mad when people start talking about other people, and I know I've gone off a few times in chat even when I hear it, but here's the thing. The reason why is because if you say something about someone or you go after them, then all you're going to do is evoke a response. I don't want a response. And to be completely honest, I don't have time or energy to fight anybody because all you're going to get from me is an F off. Okay? That's about all I have
right.
energy to muster. And that's not going to do anything. So just give them rope. You know what? Just cut them off. Ignore them. Make them go away. And eventually it becomes very apparent that they're the problem, not you. And as you keep giving them rope, it becomes very clear who the person is that probably shouldn't be trusted. If you know what I mean.
Bingo.
Ding, ding.
That's
okay.
right.
And read a little bit more. Google has stated of its prototype that, quote, they will be designed to operate safely and autonomously, you gotta love that word, without requiring human intervention. Our software and sensors will do all the work, and this vehicle will be very basic, but it will take you where you want to go, all at the push of a button. Wow.
What I think about is how many times do our computers crash?
Yeah.
And then where are you at? You're out going 25 miles an hour with no controls at all.
Right, no controls and the OS crashes. And it being Google, it's probably going to be running on some sort of Android operating system, I would imagine. So what, your Droid OS crashes while you're out in the hillside? Nana, what are you going to do?
Right.
Who gets sued? I mean, you're in the car, but you're not driving. So what, they sue a car if you run into another car?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that there's some special insurance that's required, too. There were a few stories about that, probably about a month ago. They were trying to sort it out as to how you would get some sort of car insurance. So I guess this remains to be seen. I'm never getting into one. I don't really care how end user friendly or if they're giving them away. I don't want one. Okay, I would rather have a rocket powered motor scooter, to be honest.
There you go.
All right, here I'm going to finish the story. So at the push of a button, you'll be able to go wherever you want to go. You know, one thing I was envisioning, though, with that LiDAR, radar, GPS, and I don't remember what the last thing was that they had on there. You'd have to imagine that they would have some sort of, like an OnStar system,
right,
like GM has, where they would be able to automatically unlock the doors or, reboot the operating system and monitor exactly what you were doing every minute of every day in the vehicle.
Right.
You know, and it makes you wonder, too, what type of sensors are they going to have inside? So everyone gets inside and fires one up. Except you're in, I don't know, a state that it's not legal. Are the police going to pull up behind you in 5 minutes?
Sure. There's too many. I'm with you. I don't want nothing to do with them.
Oh, here we go. However, the FBI does anticipate some benefits when it comes to catching criminals. Quote, surveillance will be made much more effective and easier. Yeah, there you go.
That's it right there.
Money shots.
Yep.
With less of a chance that a patrol car will lose sight of a target vehicle, said the report. In addition, algorithms, you gotta always love those algorithms, can control the distance that the patrol car is behind the target to avoid detection, or intentionally have a patrol car make opposite turns at intersections, yet successfully meet up at a later point with the target. Oh,
I think they'll be able to just shut them off with an OnStar.
Yeah, they actually have shown that they could do that with the DARPA, that DARPA video and the BMW. Remember, you could turn the car off.
Or control the brakes and all that. Yeah, Mercedes came out with that right after that.
Yep, and it was all done remotely.
Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't even have. So criminals will have to find another means of being criminals other than using vehicles.
Well, even beyond that, because when we looked at that Argus HD cam, I don't know if you were on that day, Zora, but we've talked about that a few times. But one of the things that they were showing with the Cyber Patrol Center, which is the Microsoft, we're working together with all the law enforcement from all the nations of the world now. They were using that Argus HD camera that was developed by DARPA, where it stays above an area 24/7 recording. So if there is a crime that has been committed, they could pull it up real time and go backwards in time to see exactly where you came from, what store you ran into, zoom in on your license plate and see where you are on the road.
That's
so they can catch you and have all the evidence that you did it. So I don't really think crime is going to be the way crime is today in the future.
No, it'll just be the police and the police gangs and stuff instead.
And the robot gangs coming after you.
Yep. And robots can malfunction too. That to me is just terrifying. I mean, if they start arming the robots and they get it like short circuit.
Oh yeah, or hacked.
Yep.
Or, once they hit that critical point of becoming smarter than us called the singularity, and as we embed them with more and more artificial intelligence, even Stephen Hawking came out and said artificial intelligence is not a good idea. He thinks that they will overtake us and they will take control. I mean,
I agree. I mean, once they start thinking for themselves, I mean, why wouldn't they see us as just little
inferior, puny humans?
Yeah.
I mean, just like we were talking about with the more superior race from outer space, let's say. We were talking about this yesterday because Hawking had come out too, and he said, we probably shouldn't go out looking for superior races in space because look at what happened when Columbus came in to the Native Americans. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's absolutely right. So we create a life form that then becomes stronger and less susceptible to germs and disease and injury and smarter than us. We give them control of all of our systems as well as Skynet, all the flying, blasting drones that can kill people at an instant with facial recognition and microphones everywhere so they can hear everything we say. And let's put them in control of it without human intervention. That sounds like a great idea.
Does it?
Oh, that was sarcasm.
Yes.
I mean, Skynet. That is Skynet being created right now. For real.
Crazy, sickening, insane.
And Hawking came out and said, that's probably not so smart. Mm-hmm. I listen to Hawking. That's all he's got to do in his life really is deep think.
Right.
He's a smart dude. So he's someone that I definitely listen to. And I don't think that he is a New World Order shill like some other unmentionable scientists who have lost my respect.
Right. Did you see that article? Could a brain scan protect U.S. troops from insider attacks? now they're talking about suiting these. It says a Pentagon report revealed that the New York Times over the weekend showed that American troops working alongside Iraqi forces were at risk of harm from Sunni extremists who had infiltrated the Iraq army. And perhaps from the Iranian Sunni militias that effectively are the army. On Monday, Rear Admiral John Kirby told reporters that it would be imprudent, irresponsible not to think about this inside threat. The threat is real in Afghanistan as well as insider threats, so-called green on blue attacks, have killed several U.S. troops in recent years. So if you're a soldier in Iraq or Afghanistan today, how do you determine whether or not the Iraqi or Afghan soldier next to you is going to give up your location to the enemy at the first chance? One solution, developed by former Army counterintelligence agents, is scanning the brain of Iraqi troops for signs of potential betrayal.
Oh, no!
Yep.
Here we go, pre-crime.
Yep.
Now let's use the Pakistanis and the Iraqis as our test bed.
Yeah, oh my
Holy
gosh.
crap.
It says Virtus Scientific, based in Virginia, markets a truth detection system called Handshake for soldiers to diagnose the trustworthiness of people they may have to work with. The technology was developed by Daryl Small, who served as a U.S. Army counterintelligence officer in 2003-2004. Here's a brief introduction from the Virtus website. Let's see, and then they have a video. I can't play it. Let's see. Here's how the handshake system works. Oh, okay. Hold on a sec. I gotta move that. Okay. And do you want me just to put it in?
Put it in the Skype with that we're doing the call on.
Okay. Oh, it's on my other computer. Okay, hold on. But okay, I'll pass it on to you. Here's how the handshake system works. A U.S. soldier would take, say, an Iraqi officer and outfit the subject with a special helmet that can pick up both electromagnetic signals, EEG, and perform functional near-infrared imaging, FNIRS, which images blood flow changes in the brain. The soldier would put the subject through a battery of tests, including image recognition. Most of the pictures in the test would be benign, but a few would contain scenes that a potential insider threat would remember, possibly including faces, locations, or even bomb parts. The key is to select these images very, very carefully to cut down on potential false positives. So
it's a new lie detector thing.
Right.
But it's even more than that, because it's detecting pre-crime, it's scanning your brain. There was a different type of technology than what I've read about in the past. They used to have the fMRIs that Madison wrote about a couple years ago back already that did like brain scans and that. This sounds like it's some other type of brain scanning technology now, some new one.
Well, what they're doing is they'll show a flash of a picture, and before your mind, like if you're on the opposite side, before your mind has a chance to put up a defense against that, it will reveal to them that your body functions changed into what degree that would say that you're lying.
Right. It uses it's looking for a subconscious response to something before you even can react to it, unlike a lie detector test where, you know, some people are in really good control of their emotions, and so they might slip through the cracks. All right, I think I have this here. Let me see if I can play it.
Okay.
The Afghan theater presents our troops with uncertain assumptions as to whom they can trust. In an environment plagued by the indeterminate risk of duplicitous actors guised in the veil of an alliance, only a strong friend can be a good partner. Veritas Scientific's handshake is able to detect friend from foe, which ultimately protects our troops with the immeasurable benefit of foresight and intelligence. As of December 15th, in 2012 alone, Insider attacks on coalition forces totaled 42, resulting in 81 coalition troops wounded and 60 killed. Current operations have left our forces vulnerable without a precise and vetted means of determining who is friend and who is foe. This cannot continue. Veritas Scientific's handshake provides the analytics of a friendship and can transform uncertain allies into true friends.
Transform
Handshake is the trust tool that enables our troops to define their friends in a judicious and responsible manner.
Yeah, so is that how we're all going to determine our friends in the future? Here, put this helmet on. And let me
test you first.
And see how trustworthy you are before I allow you to be my friend.
Ew, that's creepy. That whole commercial thing was creepy.
It sure was.
It chills up my spine. God.
So I'm scrolling down the before the first cup page, and what's interesting is that most of this is this type of technology, but I'm dropping just some stories here because I want to maybe look at these. Here's the DARPA one that Kathleen Fisher talking about. That was her name. The high assurance systems where the car was hacked. I don't know if you guys want to hear any of that. I know we watched that at the time. This is from last year, but I'm trying to find the story with, what's his name? Hawking, talking about artificial intelligence and why it is a bad idea.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
So, I don't know. That was already a video from 2013, so who knows if they're already using that technology or not.
I'm sure they were using it before then.
Yeah, I'm sure. One thing that I found kind of odd, Veritas is a big company. They do put a lot into technology. So for all the money they spend on that R&D, I think he said 40 to 60 troops were killed from infiltrations. How did they cost justify that?
Yeah.
60 people being killed.
That's a good question.
Right.
What, maybe the millions in the world that they could utilize it on in the future?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Any public company needs to show some sort of cost justification before they spend millions and millions of dollars, right?
Right.
For a market. So 60 deaths, not that anything, 60 deaths is a travesty, but for 60 deaths, you're going to spend millions and millions of dollars to develop a technology?
I don't know.
There's no economic equaling there.
No.
And Wall Street isn't a humanitarian agency, remember?
No, I was just going to say they don't care about soldiers dying.
Oh, no!
It's economically viable if you're DARPA and want to take over the world.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so here, let me see. Speaking about DARPA taking over the world, let's play. This is actually what, there's an N. Bink. This is actually something that all of them are involved in now, and this is including a lot of the big tech companies, Cisco included, who makes a lot of the back-end hardware that we run the internet on. This is a Mark Dice article, and I haven't listened to Dice in a while, but this is old. This is back from February, but he did a little thing on a story that was written about the Internet of Things. And I've talked about this before, but I really haven't gone into real depth on it. And I guess what you need to understand is what they're really working on now is taking the world of the Internet, where every PC has an IP address, and, more specifically a MAC address. And I've talked about the differences before. An IP address is not necessarily an individual address. It is for today, let's say, when you're on the internet, for your external address. But everybody, most of us, at least at home, use a pool of addresses. So we don't have a dedicated address like a corporation might, paying for a static. But we access a pool of addresses. So even the Supreme Court had ruled that an IP address is not enough necessarily to incriminate you because it is not assigned to you specifically unless you have a static address. But MAC addresses, on the other hand, are hard-coded, burned-in EEPROM addresses that are in every network-accessible device, every network card on your phone, on your computer. Hold on, I feel a massive sneeze coming on. Let's get that mute button ready. Of course, now I mentioned it went away.
I hate that.
Any network-enabled device is going to have a MAC address in it. And that MAC address, though you don't use it to access necessarily the outside world directly, that MAC address is registered with, let's say, your router. So I have my notebook and I have a built-in wireless card here. My wireless card has a MAC address. That MAC address is individual to my network card and will not be repeated on any device anywhere in the world. So if, and you know that they're good at this, if they could trace back where I bought this notebook from on a credit card with that MAC address, they will know that it is me. Okay, there's no one else that has that number.
Right.
That number hits my router that then has an IP address from my internet service provider that then is public on the internet. So they could physically come back and find you with a MAC address. Well, what they've now done is with all of these other devices, like the internet-enabled refrigerator and stove and washing machine and car and watch and everything else that we have, internet-enabled toilets, they're all going to have Macs and be able to connect to your router and get out to the internet. So this is the Internet of Things. Then you'll have your, we had Regina Duggan. This is her whole new thing, the DARPA lady at Google. Her whole new thing, she took over the Motorola division of the Internet of Things, the personal area networks. The whole Samsung, you know, they have the Samsung partnership with all their mobile devices, and they're going to use the Samsung products as your personal area network hub. So anyway, here, we'll play a little bit of this while I get a little more coffee. So everybody take a break and turn it up. And then we'll see if we can find some stuff on, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. Stephen Hawking talking about why artificial intelligence is bad. All right, here we go. Oh, hold on, I'm on the wrong computer. Remember, I'm in a few.
That happens to me a lot too.
Yeah, I think it's this one. Yes. Oh, hold on, another video commercial.
They all have commercials now.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
The Internet of Things is ready to roll out and may allow place his prying eyes on virtually every single physical object on the planet, allowing the government or almost anybody to track the person who purchased it, the place it was purchased, the price it was paid, and the physical location of such object, and even who has come into near proximity to any particular object, something down to even as small as the size of a pen. It's said that it's going to be bigger than the Industrial Revolution, bigger than the digital revolution, the next phase of the internet, as Microsoft and other tech companies just can't wait for it to roll out. And essentially what it is, as IPv6 is rolled out, Internet Protocol version 6, the number of unique IP addresses, or almost serial numbers for products, is going to be virtually unlimited. And so these companies want to tag items instead of having a universal product code, a UPC. They want every single item to have an RFID or some sort of a Bluetooth or a near-field communication device stuck on it that will then communicate with any Wi-Fi network or Bluetooth device throughout the life of the object that will allow the government or anybody really to track the information about that object no matter where it is or who's come into contact with it. As you probably are aware of, the quote smart revolution is just getting a little bit crazy here, as Nike has smart shoes that communicate with Bluetooth to track just how far you walk and how high you can jump. And you probably maybe have seen the smart water bottle, which helps you stay hydrated. It just tracks how much you drink. And I don't know if you've seen the smart fork that came out at the Consumer Electronics Show last year, but a bunch of morons just need a electronic fork to count how fast and how many times you move the fork to and from your plate. And so what is happening as IPv4 is essentially almost obsolete, which has 4.3 billion unique IP addresses. So they're getting ready, or they're slowly really rolling out IPv6, Internet Protocol version 6, which is 128-bit IP address, or almost a unique serial number for every single product. There's so many unique codes that there's literally 3.4 times 10 to the 38th power number of combinations. 340 trillion. It's just more numbers than what anybody can even comprehend. As devices now, just all of them have, they want them to have smart stuff on them. So they're promoting this as, your smart refrigerator will be able to tell when you don't put the gallon of milk back in, because it will have a unique RFID tag on it with its own, IPv6 code on there. That then your smart refrigerator will detect that you did not put the gallon of milk back in the fridge, so it will add that automatically to your shopping list, because people are getting so dumb now that they just can't, take a look in their fridge or just remember what sort of products they need on a weekly or monthly basis. So gotta have your smartphone take care of that for you. The smartphones are becoming smarter than anybody. You probably are familiar with the quote smart homes. Now people are just, locking their doors remotely with their apps, completely oblivious to the just absolute insecurity that such devices entail. With hackers then can just, just hack into your house with a few clicks of the keyboard, or not to mention the NSA. And so this is being touted as the next industrial revolution. It will be interesting to see how this happens. So, for example, every literal single product will have its own unique code, unique number. So, if you...
I'm going to stop this for 1 second. I just came back down. That coffee took a hell of a long time. It's one of those instant brews, except this is a slow instant brew. And it doesn't taste as good as, real fresh brewed coffee, honestly. If you want to know my opinion, I like a real fresh, strong pot in the morning. This is, I hate it because it's almost like this is the stepping stone to Replicator. Is
right.
This instant 1 cup, half week, you can't control how much coffee is in your brew coffee. I hate it. Yeah. I hate it. I like going over and above. I put 10 scoops in the morning, so it's like syrup. But when I came back down here, the story he has up is... I can't see what publication. It looks like it's ZDNet. Yeah, it is. It's ZDNet, which is one of the tech publications I used to read when I was a tech, under the emerging technology, and is titled Microsoft Staffs Up Its Evolving Internet of Things Team. So, we should have known that they were going to be involved as well. It was pretty nuts.
Absolutely.
All right, can I play a little bit more? Was it interesting?
Yeah, keep going.
All right.
You buy if you're a psychologically sedated, high fructose corn syrup slurping sucker, and you just happen to throw your can of Coke out the window on the side of the road, being a litter bug. That particular can of Coke then could be traced back to you because it will have its unique little RFID tag or its IPv6 number, and the authorities can track who bought it, when it was purchased. It will probably interact with anybody that it'll show a history of who it came into close proximity with. A little RFID chip in there will just log who comes in within 2 feet of the can of Coke. So then they'll just probably just send you a fine for littering. Of course, the clothing companies want to have this so that they can just determine, a thief can just walk by you and determine exactly what products you have, on your person, what kind of clothes you have. It's going to be so easy now. You can just go and get scanned, and you don't even need to look at the tag or what size clothes you're wearing. So this is something that's going to rapidly roll out, whether it's going to be accepted or not, whether these are just utopian Orwellian pipe dreams remains to be seen, but the brain-dead, psychologically sedated slave public appears to be welcoming any kind of smart technology. They are just glued to their smartphones. We're seeing the rollout of wearable computers or head-mounted displays, or HMCs, head-mounted computers like Google Glass, because people just aren't on their computer, aren't on their smartphone enough. You just need to glue one up near your face.
Yeah.
Just spend more time on your smartphone, spend less time with your family and friends. So be on the lookout for this. Just another thing to resist, just an absolute invasion of privacy on Orwellian levels that George Orwell probably couldn't even have imagined. So every little piece, the little tiny little RFID tag will be glued on your pen, glued on your little coffee cup, probably glued onto a napkin that you use at your GMO high fructose corn syrup selling fast food stores, fast food restaurants. So just a heads up about the Internet of Things, or the IoT, as the trendies will call it. Yeah, I got my IoT tag on my pen, man. Now if anybody steals my pen, I can just log into my Wi-Fi network and just find out. It'll show up exactly who has been using my pen and where it's located. I'll just geo-track my stolen pen. It's going to be so cool, so slick. I'm sure that the government will never want to do anything like that. I'm sure that the IRS would never want to just know exactly what kind of objects you have. I'm sure that thieves would never want to, just kind of walk past a person or their automobile or outside of someone's house and just, do a quick search on the Internet of Things to find out what kind of, devices and what kind of things are in people's houses. I'm sure that this is just going to be fantastic. I'm sure that Big Brother just loves you, and that's why Big Brother's, symbolized by the one eye, the all-seeing eye of the Illuminati, which, interestingly enough, is also the symbol of the Antichrist. In the Bible, it talks about the Antichrist will have an assassination attempt made against him and will seemingly come back from the dead, probably as a genetically altered, transhumanist cyborg.
As well.
But one eye will be damaged, or the Bible is probably just referring to him wearing his little Google Glass over his one eye, emphasized by one eye. And the Muslims have a prophecy about the Dajjal, which is the name of what they call the Antichrist, who will be symbolized by one eye. So kind of interesting. Both Muslims and Christians have a prophecy about the false counterfeit Messiah, who will embody the very emblem of the Illuminati and of Big Brother. You see, he is the Illuminati Messiah. He embodies the one eye. He embodies the symbol of Big Brother as well. He loves us. Let's send those Christians off to a FEMA camp and pull out the guillotines. They're the ones that won't take the shit. They're the ones that are holding up this global New World Order utopia. They're the ones that are saying that he's not the Messiah. Let's just execute them all. That is what's coming. That's the ultimate end game of this. So read the Gospels. That means the four books in the four first books in the New Testament. Try to get yourself up to speed. Learn how you can be saved through Jesus Christ. And thanks for watching my videos. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new. Check out some of the previous videos. There are playlists on youtube.com/markdice, or just click on my username and it'll take you to the homepage. You can see some of my previous videos broken down into playlists. And subscribe to my backup channel as well, youtube.com/TheResistance, THE Resistance.
All right, that's that. Well, I don't know if I'd recommend that Jesus was going to save us from the New World Order, but he is right. I mean, that one eye, the all-seeing eye, has been repeated all throughout history. So isn't these guys just copying that and trying to make themselves look like the man behind the curtain, all-powerful? Or, was there some foreshadowing that happened in the past?
Technocracy, I've been trying to tell people about this for so long. All this is preordained if you get into technocracy, and the smart meter has been the introduction to all of this. With the everything being computerized so it can report to the smart meter. And now that it's just progressing and progressing and progressing.
Well, and it's progressing now to the point where, like I said, at some point it's going to overcome our capabilities, and the machine is going to be smarter than us. And that's where we need to be really concerned. Mm-hmm. I mean, we still need to be concerned now, but, it's getting to the point where there will be no turning around because it will be way more powerful than us.
Just like the Matrix.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, I just found an actual video interview with Hawking.
Oh, hey.
Hold on. We're going to paste this, but I'm going to read what it says first. I don't know how we ended up on DARPA Tech. You know what? This will be the last one because I'm going to talk about a little bit more of the CDC. There was some more stuff that came out yesterday. Dengue fever is a new one that now they found unattended in a closet somewhere.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
I've
if you
got
saw that.
Yep, I've got it right here.
Yeah, so put on a seatbelt for that. But here, this is a story out of... it's actually in 4 or 5 different publications. It was an interview with Stephen Hawking. Transcendence looks at the implications of artificial intelligence, but are we taking AI seriously enough? Stephen Hawking asks. With the Hollywood blockbuster Transcendence playing in cinemas, so this was back in May, which I guess I missed that one. But maybe we should pay attention if it has to do with artificial intelligence taking over the future of humanity. It had Johnny Depp and Morgan Freeman in it, so actually it was probably pretty good. Showcasing clashing visions for the future of humanity, it is attempting to dismiss the notion of highly intelligent machines as mere science fiction, but this would be a mistake and potentially our worst mistake in history. Artificial intelligence, more affectionately known as AI, research is now progressing rapidly. Recent landmarks such as self-driving cars, a computer winning at Jeopardy, which that was Watson, and Watson has now taken the lead role in being a medical database for doctors to consult as an oracle, by the way.
Yes, you read that. I remember that.
Yeah, enter Obamacare, where we apparently don't have enough doctors to take care of everybody, and you might have a robot doctor doing your thinking. And the digital personal assistants such as Siri, which is on your iPhone, Google Now, and Cortana, which I haven't heard of either of those. They are merely symptoms of an IT arms race fueled by unprecedented investments and building on an increasingly mature theoretical foundation. Such achievements will probably pale against what is coming in the next decade. The potential benefits are huge. Everything that civilization has to offer is a product of human intelligence. We cannot predict what we might achieve when this intelligence is magnified by the tools that AI may provide. But the eradication of war, disease, and poverty would be high on anyone's list. And success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Yeah, or the worst. Unfortunately, yes, it might be the last unless we learn how to avoid the risks. And remember, there are no panels of morals that are keeping an eye on anything. It's mad science gone mad. Use the globe as a petri dish and do whatever the hell you want at the current time. And even if we had a morals board, you know, does anyone follow the rules? I mean, look at our government. Is anyone following the laws? No.
Not at all.
Unfortunately, it might be the last unless we learn how to avoid the risks. In the near term, world militaries are considering autonomous weapon systems that can choose and eliminate targets on their own. The UN and Human Rights Watch have advocated a treaty banning such weapons. So, hey, let's do golf clap.
Yeah.
Wish I had crickets queued up. You know, as out of the other side of their mouth, they're launching humanitarian kill drones.
Yeah, exactly.
In the medium term, as is emphasized by Eric Brynjolfsson and Andrew McAfee, I think I actually played the interview by McAfee a few months ago. McAfee is Mr. McAfee that developed the McAfee antivirus, but he is quite a technological thinker of his time, so he's got some interesting ideas, and he was forming a privacy company, I believe, in that interview we watched him in.
They've launched a bunch of privacy apps that you
Yeah.
can on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you don't have to go through and read your whole agreement. They did it for you, and they tell you the ones that some of them say that you give them, they can get anything they want. And yeah.
Yeah, that's
I've got
good.
it on my phone, actually.
Oh, good. So in the medium term, emphasized by Eric Bryn Jolfson and Andrew McAfee in the second machine age, AI may transform our economy to bring both great wealth and great dislocation. And, there have been many of the minds of the times that have come out and pointed that out. Bill Gates being one that I can remember specifically saying that, yes, your job will be replaced by a robot in the near future. So, yes, great dislocation. So not only will it be our enslavement, but it'll also be our loss of personal freedom, I think. Looking further ahead, there are no fundamental limits to what can be achieved. There is no physical law precluding particles from being organized in a way that perform even more advanced computations than the arrangements of particles in the human brain. An explosive transition is possible, even though it may play out differently from in the movie. As Irving Good realized in 1965, machines with superhuman intelligence could repeatedly improve their design even further, which that is where the singularity happens, where they become smarter than us, and they are using their exponential increase in technology to make themselves stronger and smarter. And yes, it even mentions that machines with superhuman intelligence could repeatedly improve their design even further, triggering what Werner Vinge calls a singularity and Johnny Depp's movie character calls transcendence. One can imagine such technology outsmarting financial markets, out-inventing human researchers, out-manipulating human leaders, and developing weapons we cannot even understand, whereas the short-term impact of AI depends on who controls it. The long-term impact depends on whether it can be controlled at all.
There you
and
go.
That is the truth. The genie has been let out of the bottle on so many things, and I don't even know if it could be reined in. I mean, GMO number one, and that was technology that should have never been let out. And look at all this other stuff now that they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And do
I
you
watched
think
that
they could
Johnny Depp movie. It's worth watching.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the picture here of Johnny Depp with a giant eye behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the movie I watched a few weekends ago when it was raining and we were down in the hills, it was called Iborg. And that's what it was, these little robots running around surveilling everything. And you find out that the president wasn't even real. It was the machines.
Right.
Like they killed him a long time ago, and they were just broadcasting, 3D holographic movies of him giving lectures and speeches and stuff. But it wasn't really even a person. But everyone was dumb enough to believe what they saw on their TV.
Yeah, this is
Well,
where
look
it's
at that
going.
Michael Jackson concert that they did with a hologram.
Exactly. And I mean, it even went a step beyond that. There was another clip that came out with a Holocaust survivor, and he was in his 90s, and they had done all these 3D scans of him for the holographic imaging. They recorded his voice. They had him say all kinds of words, and they put him into a database. So he was just beamed out, sitting, they're like the future of the museums could be people just like you telling your life story, sitting looking realistic. And he was not only able to tell his story, but there was so much artificial intelligence built into him that the kids sitting listening to his story could ask questions and he could answer. Tell me if that doesn't give you chills, because I know it to me.
That is
I was
really
like,
bad.
A hologram?
Rocking.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's rocking, yeah. I mean, a hologram that could actually, compute what you were saying and then give you answers. And I mean, that's all artificial intelligence. So here, I have a 2-minute clip from Stephen Hawking from the story, and I did not know that there was an interview to this. I didn't see it the first time. I actually read the interview. But here we go. Hopefully there's no nasty ads.
He would spend a lot of time looking at the stars and wondering where eternity came to an end.
My celebrity has a lot to do with my condition. People are fascinated by the contrast between my physical weakness and the vast scale of the problems with which I deal. I fit the stereotype of a disabled genius, though I'm not a genius like Einstein. The wheelchair makes me instantly recognizable. My interests and reputation are in science. Being a celebrity can be gratifying, but it doesn't last. Who remembers last year's celebrities? Whereas my discovery that black holes emit thermal radiation will stand for all time. The achievement that gave me most pleasure was my realization that when two black holes collide and merge, the area of the horizon of the final black hole is greater than the sum of the areas of the horizons of the original black holes. This was a eureka moment. It suggested that there is a connection between black holes and thermodynamics, the science of heat. This was confirmed 2 years later when I discovered that black holes radiate like hot bodies. The achievement in which I take most pride is the no-boundary proposal, which I formulated with Jim Hartle of Santa Barbara. This is a boundary condition which holds at the Big Bang and determines the whole history of the universe. One can't prove that there wasn't a creator. All one can do is offer a more reasonable explanation, based on science. Ever since the Greeks, we have managed to explain what previously seemed acts of God, in terms of scientific laws. By now, most people accept that the laws of science hold everywhere, except at the beginning of the universe. But unless one knows what laws hold at the beginning, one doesn't know what universe emerges from the Big Bang.
And I guess that wasn't talking about artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
But that was okay. It was talking anyway. Hold on. And see, now this is into my second cup of coffee. Say goodbye, Zori. She might be gone already.
Yeah.
Oh, bye-bye, everybody. Sorry, I gotta go to work.
That's okay.
All right, have a good day.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Take care. Thanks for
Bye.
everything
We'll
you did
catch you
yesterday.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Get those posted. We'll share them around.
I will. Good
Share 'em on
night.
the
Bye.
site. Bye. All right. Sorry about that. That was great, though. I love Stephen Hawking, and if this page will load, oh, it blocked a pop-up. Hold on, that's why it's all frozen here. Yes, allow it once, and allow it one more time. All right, let's scroll down. No, I'm not always allowing. Scroll. Oh, shit. My father's got all this pop-up stuff. I have his machine set to play the clips. Damn it!
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, well, it won't even load the page because I won't let the pop-ups in. Hold on. Let me try the other browser. Paste. Oh my god, I got like a keyboard behind the notebook. There we go. Alright, Stephen Hawking, terrified of artificial intelligence. So maybe we'll get it right this time.
Yes! Kids never get this excited about cleaning teeth.
You want a greenie?
Gotta get over the commercial first.
I know.
Darn commercials. Now they're just gonna play no matter what.
Alright, here we go.
Deadly viruses, of course, aren't the only potential threat to the human race. We've seen another in movies. You know the drill. Robots take over and destroy human existence. Well, according to Stephen Hawking, that may not be science fiction for much longer. The world's most famous physicist has warned that machine superintelligence could be the most significant advancement in human history, but also may be the last. Hawking wrote in The Independent, quote, "One can imagine such technology outsmarting financial markets, out-inventing human researchers, out-manipulating human leaders, and developing weapons we can't even understand. Whereas the short-term impact of AI depends on who controls it. The long-term impact depends on whether it can be controlled at all." Joel, when a crackpot on a street corner warns about the impending robot takeover, I dismiss it. But Stephen Hawking is no slouch. Should we be concerned?
Am I the crackpot on a street corner?
Definitely a need to keep an eye on how we're developing AI in the coming years. But is it a bit premature? I mean, already we have algorithms, true, that know more about humans when they're solving these intense mathematical calculations. But at the same time, when you think about how we might develop AI, I mean, we've got Siri. Siri's not going to leap out of our iPhone and take over. I wonder how he sees the sort of this apocalypse, this robot future arising if we're not sort of developing them into these AI armies.
Hold on. So we got some internet dipshit journalist questioning Stephen Hawking.
Right.
All right. Yeah. I don't see it. You're right, buddy. It's because your brain is the size of a peanut. All right, we're going to play a little bit more. I'm going to cut him off if he sits here and poo-poos this whole thing because, I mean, he said it right at the beginning. It's one thing when there's a crackpot on a street corner talking about the robot taking over, which that would be me, versus Stephen Hawking. Well, I pay attention when people like Stephen Hawking open their mouth, as we all should.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think. All right.
I think it's a need for concern, but not maybe alarm yet.
Isn't part of the concern, though, that once AI can start developing AI, you're then going to get into a kind of a ratcheting spiral where it gets ever more sophisticated and you get a runaway. I mean, once computers can build better computers than people can, then the computers can keep getting better and better and better and can invent even smarter versions of themselves.
It's like this argument. There's the joke when 3D printers started becoming more ubiquitous that you could get a 3D printer that could print 3D printers, and then suddenly you've got the market cornered. I mean, you know, I think
Which, you know, 3D printers are still in their infancy, dude. I do think that could happen at some point in the future.
Yeah, all this stuff is viable.
Absolutely. I mean, you can 3D print freaking organs, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, a 3D printer is nothing. All right, like a 3D printer printing a 3D printer.
Right.
All right, a little bit more.
Future where we have a robot that's capable of building an even better robot, I think that's still a way off. But, I mean, that being said, I think it is a good idea that we do keep ahead of the game. And, you know, knowledge is always a good thing. I don't think any argument could be made to say, let's just close our eyes and see what happens.
Carl, should there at least be some kind of international framework within which artificial intelligence research is somehow coordinated, where there are some rules and guidelines about what research should be done and what research shouldn't be done, or are you sanguine about this?
Well, the problem is that it's really easy to kind of shoot off into science fiction movie land, you know, to start picturing, you know, a Terminator-type scenario. But, you know, you have to remember, like, if there were, like, a robot army that was going to be sort of building itself and replicating itself, you know, they actually have to go and get, like, minerals, various metals, and actually use those to build this stuff. And so, you know, it's one thing to write a little algorithm that makes your smartphone order your groceries for you. It's a whole different thing to actually be able to go mining, for example. So
it's a whole nother thing to have Google own 8 robotics companies with an unlimited budget.
Yeah. I just put into the box that there's a article that says Google's likely a $1 trillion company now.
Absolutely. You know, when they went public, their stock was, I honestly, I was going to buy into the beast because I thought to myself, if you can get in on an IPO, I did a couple back in my tech days, and, you know, you got to have your finger on the pulse to be able to flip them quick like that. But if you can get in on an IPO where they go for sale because no one knows them at, you know, $50 a share, and the next thing you know, they're at, you know, Apple prices at $400 or $500 a share, you can make some quick money doing it that way. I think Google launched their IPO right around $400 a share. There was absolutely no way. I mean, I wouldn't even buy one share at that price. I've been screwed many times with overinflated stocks, but I was surprised. Google had their world domination game and all their ducks in a row long before they went public.
Mm-hmm. You're darn right they did.
All right, here we're going to play the rest of this, and then we'll look at that story
I'm actually pretty skeptical of these extreme version of these scenarios. You know, and another question is, well, why would these artificial intelligence systems do all these horrible things? What would be the motivation within the machine to do anything, really?
Because they're enslaved.
Yeah.
You know, once we give them self-awareness, you know, there are some ethical... I read a lot about robotics ethics, by the way, because this is a big thing that everything is lacking with any type of ethics and morals in any of this. Yeah. And so I really try to get a handle on what it should be. But here's the thing. Once we make them self-aware and they fulfill I think there's 9 or 7 line items that scientists use to define that something is quote-unquote alive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are they going to have rights? Are they going to have feelings? You know what I mean? Like, sure. It starts to have... I mean, Jesus, DARPA has already created a new life form with the XY DNA proteins.
That's right. That's right. You know, do they have rights now?
Because it's a new life form.
Yeah. Does it have rights? I mean, you know, there's... The ethics is absolutely mind-boggling. And before anybody can figure that crap out, they're
already releasing it.
Yeah, they're already going to have taken over.
Right. I mean, look at, you know, abortion rights protesters standing up saying that a fetus is a human being. Well, who's to say that an artificial, you know, organism created in a petri dish isn't a living being? Not that I would defend that. I say kill them all. Kill all the ATCGXY cells, all the nanobots.
Yes.
I personally think that they need to be exterminated long before they get to the point of being self-aware.
Yeah,
but
and
it's my personal opinion.
And they're already everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And like Dice was talking about, I mean, you're going to have a can of Coke with RFID that can track everyone that's come in contact with it. I mean, and then think about what's going to be collecting that data. It's not going to be a human collecting that data.
That's right.
There's going to be a machine that's collecting that data and then trying to make sense of it using artificial intelligence.
Absolutely.
I don't know what that was, but here, let me play.
So I'm skeptical, and until we've really framed these questions, I don't think it's worth coming up with these sort of international guidelines. I think it was just stifling good research.
Jacqueline, are you on board with that? I mean, I take the point about, you know, we're not going to have robot armies until robots can mine. On the other hand, there's a lot you can do even without a physical robot. I mean, just an artificial intelligence living on the web would be able to do all kinds of things should it choose to. Should it have a level of consciousness that enabled it to become self-aware?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was thinking of, something that, you know, can kind of hit closer to home, like you said, on the web. But, again, that's so far in the future, and it's so,
they are so,
you know, we're kind of getting borderline sci-fi thinking in a way, which can take away from, you know, more pressing issues that I think are in science and technology right now.
Yeah, don't pay attention to the important ball that no one is paying attention to.
Right, what a dumb...
Until it's too freaking late and the robots are ready to be turned on and take over. That's what they're saying.
She's as dumb as a freaking stump.
Huffington Post. New World Order shill publication.
Yeah.
But it's worth listening to views, but these people are really stupid. This is what we are trying to combat right here.
Yeah.
These ways of thinking that are absolutely ludicrous. Why would you let them get to the point where they're ready to flip a switch before you even think about it, the ethics of it? Did you hear the dude?
Yeah.
It's not worth thinking about the ethics of it now. Are you kidding me?
I know.
They have smears crossing animals and human rights.
She's like, oh, we don't have to worry about that now. That's so far down the road. Yeah,
Come
on. They're ready to do it right now.
Sure are. And I am not some crazy on a street corner. I mean, you guys listen to the show. All the stuff that we're talking about are real news stories and real stuff that is happening now. It is no sci-fi fantasy anymore, and that's why it's scary. They're trying to make us look like crackpots. Absolutely. And it's not science fiction.
They can't make Stephen Hawking into a crackpot.
And that is actually what they're trying to do.
Right.
They're trying. Internet Yahoo's making from Huffington Post trying to make Stephen Hawking sound like a crackpot. Absolutely.
Our viewers, as they watch online, is commenting. Xavier Santana says, frequency trading is pretty much already algorithms that execute trades on their own. Yes, touché. Perhaps the dawn of AI will begin with high-frequency trading.
That's absolutely true. So that was the end of that.
Oh, jeez.
And we got about a minute left, if you can believe it.
No, I can't believe it.
Should we? Zoom. Google has the potential to hit $1 trillion market cap in the next 10 years, according to one technology investor. The rise of the first $1 trillion companies was one of a handful of big ideas entertained during the tech-focused panel. Fisher, this person was an early partner in the video sharing site Vine. The environment we're in now is probably the most interesting seismic change relative to the new companies that will be the internet leaders. The froth in some of the venture capital consumer internet companies without business models, if they're not being bought by Google or Facebook, are out of business. And yes, we have not talked about Muckerberg's Facebook in a long time, but one of the things that we found out just recently is that just about everything we do on Facebook has become some sort of experiment, either for a university or for the Pentagon.
That's
to
right.
come up with what we're doing and how we interact. And they are using all that data to build their artificial intelligence systems. You know, we talked about that probably a year and a half ago, that they were using all social media to try to crack our code and to figure out how we work and how to anticipate what we're going to do next.
That's right.
So if you can believe it, we're down to the last minute.
Ugh.
I know. 2 hours, we used to do an hour, and I don't know how we did that.
There's so much going on now, though.
I know. I don't think I could do 3 hours, 5 days, though, guys.
No. Oh, my God.
Wait till tomorrow for the next part.
There you go.
I'm heading back today, so I will be back to the home office tomorrow.
Yay.
Antibiotic number 7, early hours of this morning, and as you can hear, I'm not gagging and choking. Listen to my nose.
Yes, and it sounds so much better. You sounded 50% better yesterday and 75% better today.
Thank you. Now I just need to go get some probiotics into me because I can already feel the gut rock forming.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So, all right, guys, 10 seconds to go. So, Lady Pimple, thank you so much for helping me out here the last couple days, as always, and for hosting the call. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Zori, for being on with us. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a happy Thursday. Your Captain Blanche is up next. Stick around. Thursday night is always great radio. We have Finn, Chuck, Stu, and Chuck. 2 Chucks after this. Good night. I'll get you guys this afternoon when we get home. Peace.
Thanks, guys.